I'm glad that you bring up the E-Myth. It's the one book I was recommended to read multiple times before I decided to get into any career when I made a change 7 years ago, and I just happened to get into real estate after reading it. And it's funny because I believe that first of all, society right now, there's so many more entrepreneurs than there's ever been. And a lot of people think that they're an entrepreneur, but they have no idea what that means, right? And that goes for any business, any career path that you choose. There's entrepreneurs basically in every single job class that you could think of. With real estate, as an agent, by default, you're an entrepreneur. And the understanding of what that means, first of all, and then really understanding if you're cut out for it, because not everybody is what I see to be one of the biggest problems, because of the barrier to entry in our business being relatively low compared to a lot of other industries. And you get people who get into the business and have a lot of energy and a lot of momentum, and the real estate school does nothing to prepare you for what it really means to be a real estate agent. And you're dropped in to the brokerage that you join, and depending on where you go, I should say, in most places, you're not given those models that you're talking about with Keller Williams. And it's certainly not something that that is being taught on the team level. So it's really interesting to hear agents who come into the business thinking that they're going to churn and burn these deals right away, yet they have no understanding of A, what it means to be self-motivated and be an entrepreneur, and B, how that translates to the real estate industry, let alone the fact that they don't even realize that there's a plenty of information and training at their fingertips. You bring up Mike McCann, back to the point about understanding what an agent needs from a team and what the team's value is. The reason that Keller Williams and Mike McCann were such a great match is Mike understood exactly what he wanted when he moved to a different broker, and Keller Williams knew that Mike was going to meet them more than halfway with the way that he does business to deliver upon any kind of expectation that Keller Williams had for Mike. So again, whether you're a new agent or you're 30 years in the business and thinking about, in this case, moving brokerages, but essentially moving teams, you have to have a clear understanding of what you want as an agent, what your expectations are, what you need to do as far as your job is concerned. How does that match up with the team that you're looking to join? And can that team, based on what you're ready to provide, take you to the next level?
Yeah, and you're making me think of two things. Number one is agents often even join the wrong brokerage at first because there's that pressure to name a broker when you get your license. And that gives agents no incentive to really interview and experience. And well, that's one of the things I love about our brokerage is that you're welcome to come to as many classes as you want to experience it, because it really is a place you have to experience. You know, everybody says they have our kinds of conferences or our energy, and yet when people from those brokerages come, they're always saying, oh no, it's completely different. And I came from a small mom and pop, so I have no context for that, you know, experience or commentary. The second thing that you made me think of was a question I like to ask people to determine whether or not this is a good business for them is, okay, you have a choice between making, we'll just call it $50,000 flat salary. You know, you just show up, you have a boss, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, 8 to 6, whatever the hours might be, and you're guaranteed income. Of course, you're going to be capped out at that. And you might be frustrated at your boss, your job, you know, but you are guaranteed the 50 grand. Or you can get into real estate, be your own boss, have to hustle your butt off, act as if you have a boss, and you could potentially make 100,000, but there's as much chance that you make 20,000 or less. Which do you prefer? Because if you tell me 50 grand, then it would be better to cut your losses and just watch HGTV, you know, talk to your friends who are realtors, because I'm sure you have a bunch, live vicariously through them, and don't waste your money or time on getting your license. Because all too often I see people come to this industry, they're broke, and then they, you know, realize how much time and energy it takes, and then they get distracted, by life circumstances, or they end up getting cash poor and then end up driving for Uber or Instacart or, their bartending job or secondary job. So, advice to new realtors would be come in with 3 to 6 months salary so that you can, in the bank, so you can really focus and just know yourself. Are you willing, the person that says, I'm willing to hustle and there's no way I'm going to make 20,000, I'm going to hustle, and then they put their actions behind the words, sure, come on in, we'll work with you. We love that. I joke, but I'm serious. I'd rather work with somebody who went to, got a community college 2-year degree than somebody who's highly educated if they have hustle. Because in this industry, it's all about talking to people and having hustle. You can be too smart for your own good, and you could overthink it, and you could really hold yourself back.
Yeah, you have to be a social butterfly by default in this business. There is no, as long as you intend on being an agent, obviously there's other careers in real estate that doesn't necessarily require you to be social. But if you intend on being an agent or in any capacity, some type of consumer facing position, you have to be social, number one. Yeah, absolutely.